Erling Haaland has already been linked to WWE, spotted hanging out with Michael Jordan, and turned into one of the most talked about athletes in America following this year's World Cup, but his latest crossover moment might be the most unexpected one yet. NBA All-Star Jaylen Brown, fresh off his move to the Philadelphia 76ers, recently declared during a livestream that Haaland genuinely belongs on a basketball court, insisting that his combination of size and athleticism was simply too good to waste anywhere else. In this video, we are going to walk through exactly what Brown said, break down the context surrounding his comments, and explore why American fans reacted with such enthusiasm to hearing an NBA star publicly campaign for a soccer player to try his hand at basketball. So let us get into everything that unfolded. To understand why Brown's comments carried real weight, you first have to understand exactly who was making them. Jaylen Brown is not simply a casual NBA name-dropping a trending athlete. He is a two-time NBA All-Star who spent his most successful seasons with the Boston Celtics, reaching the Eastern Conference Finals 6 times and winning both the NBA Championship and Finals MVP award during the 2023 to 2024 season. After transferring to the Philadelphia 76ers in July of this year, Brown remained one of the league's most respected voices, making his unexpected praise for Haaland's athletic potential carry significantly more credibility than a passing celebrity comment might otherwise have. Before we get into exactly what Brown said, take a second to hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed, because we are covering every corner of Haaland's crossover appeal as it continues to spread across American sports culture. It only takes a second, and it genuinely helps the channel. Alright, let us get into it. Brown's remarks emerged during a recent live stream where he was discussing standout matches from this year's World Cup, specifically highlighting Norway's memorable tournament run. He revealed that he had actually attended Norway's stunning upset over Brazil in person, recalling the moment vividly and telling viewers that Haaland went completely wild during that particular match. That first-hand account added an extra layer of authenticity to his comments. This was not someone simply reacting to highlight clips online, but an NBA star who had witnessed Haaland's dominance directly from the stands. The conversation took an unexpected turn when Brown learned exactly how tall Haaland actually stands. Upon discovering that the Norwegian striker measures approximately 6'5", Brown appeared genuinely surprised, immediately shifting the tone of the conversation. He declared directly that it was crazy, insisting with real conviction that Haaland needed to be playing basketball. That reaction, delivered with the kind of natural enthusiasm that comes from a professional athlete recognizing elite physical tools in someone else's sport, is exactly what turned this moment into one worth paying attention to, rather than a passing offhand comment. Part of why Brown's reaction resonated so strongly comes down to just how ideally suited Haaland's physical dimensions actually are for basketball specifically. Standing at 6'5" places him squarely in the range of a modern NBA wing player, tall enough to match up physically with elite forwards while still possessing the kind of explosive athleticism that made him one of the most dominant strikers at this year's World Cup. For an NBA veteran like Brown, who has spent his career competing against players in that exact size range, immediately recognizing Haaland's frame as basketball-ready speaks to just how much untapped potential Brown genuinely believed was sitting inside one of soccer's biggest stars. The conversation did not stop with Brown's own comments either. It expanded further once his brother joined the discussion and raised an even bigger question, wondering aloud whether the United States men's national soccer team could dominate international competition if elite NBA-level athletes had grown up playing soccer instead of basketball. That bold claim, suggesting the country could win the World Cup regularly if its most gifted athletes had chosen a different sport entirely, added a broader layer to the conversation, turning a simple compliment about Haaland's frame into a larger debate about untapped athletic potential across American sports as a whole. Brown reportedly did not push back on his brother's ambitious claim, letting the larger point stand even as it stretched well beyond his original comments about Haaland specifically. What makes Brown's comments particularly interesting is that he was far from the first American sports figure to suggest Haaland might have thrived in a completely different sport. Throughout the aftermath of this year's World Cup, similar sentiments had already begun circulating across American sports media, with commentators and fans repeatedly pointing out that Haaland's combination of size, speed, and explosiveness would have made him a natural fit for either basketball or football had he grown up in the United States instead of Norway. Brown's comments simply added the most prominent and specific voice yet to that ongoing conversation, coming directly from a proven NBA champion rather than a casual outside observer. Reaction from American fans to Brown's comments was largely enthusiastic, with plenty of viewers expressing genuine agreement about Haaland's basketball potential. Fans flooded social media pointing out how naturally his frame and athleticism seemed to translate to basketball terms, with some specifically referencing his explosive first step and physical strength as traits that would have made him a nightmare matchup on a basketball court as well as a soccer pitch. Others found humor in the entire exchange, joking that this was yet another example of Americans trying to recruit Haaland into a completely different sport, following similar earlier moments involving WWE stars pitching him on professional wrestling. Regardless of the angle, the overall reaction reflected just how much genuine respect and curiosity Haaland's physical gifts had generated across completely different corners of American professional sports. Interestingly, this was not the first time questions about Haaland's potential in other sports had come up either. Given his combination of height, speed, and power, comparisons to other sports have followed him throughout his career, with commentators regularly noting that his athletic profile stands out even among elite-level soccer players. That established reputation for exceptional physical tools is exactly why Brown's comments landed the way they did, reinforcing rather than introducing an idea that had already been circulating among fans who watched him dominate defenders throughout this year's World Cup using pure size and explosiveness as much as technical skill. Stepping back from the specifics of Brown's individual comments, this entire story fits into a much larger pattern that has defined Haaland's post-World Cup summer in America. From viral photos with Michael Jordan to WWE stars publicly campaigning for him to join professional wrestling, and now an NBA champion suggesting he belongs on a basketball court, Haaland's crossover appeal has continued expanding into corners of American sports and entertainment that have nothing to do with soccer whatsoever. That kind of sustained, multi-sport fascination with a single athlete is relatively rare, and it speaks directly to just how thoroughly his performance at this year's World Cup captured the American sports imagination. At the end of the day, Jaylen Brown's comments offer yet another entertaining chapter in Haaland's remarkable summer of American crossover attention, this time coming from a genuine NBA champion rather than a casual observer. Whether or not Haaland ever seriously considers stepping onto a basketball court remains, understandably, extremely unlikely given his current standing as one of soccer's most dominant strikers, but the fact that top-tier athletes from a completely different sport keep publicly wondering what might have been says everything about the kind of universal athletic respect he has earned this year. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you are subscribed so you catch our next video the moment another unexpected athlete weighs in on Haaland's crossover potential, because at this point, there is genuinely no telling who might chime in next.